All right, let's jump right in with a simple question about a word I bet you think you know inside and out. Okay, when I say the word stoic, what's the first thing that pops into your head? Seriously. For a lot of us, right, it's probably some kind of tough guy, unflinching, maybe a cowboy? Yeah, you know the type I'm talking about, the lone wolf, that person who can walk through fire without even blinking. He's the strong, silent hero you see in a ton of movies, especially old westerns. Always cool, always composed, maybe even a little cold. I mean, this quote right here, it just nails that image. Think about Clint Eastwood in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. He's literally being forced to walk through a desert till he drops, but does he beg for mercy? Nope. Does he panic? Not a chance. He's just professional about it. This is the version of Stoicism we all know, right? The pup Stoic. He's a lone wolf, surviving a tough world, and he's doing it all for himself. But what if that's only half the story? What if that whole tough guy, lone wolf thing, as cool as it looks on screen, completely misses the point of the actual philosophy? What if there's a totally different kind of Stoic hero out there? So let's break this down. On one side, you've got our pop Stoic, right? The Clint Eastwood type. But on the other, we have something called the dutiful Stoic. And this is where things get interesting. This hero isn't just tough. They're steady. They're not just looking out for number one. They're dedicated to something bigger, to virtue, to their duty, to their community. And that's the real kicker. The difference isn't about having no emotion. It's about having a purpose that's bigger than just yourself. And a perfect example of this is John Wayne's character in Rio Bravo. I mean, think about it. He's just as cool under pressure as Clint Eastwood, for sure, but his whole motivation is different. He's not out there for himself. He's protecting his town, his friends. His strength comes from that commitment to other people. He's not facing the bad guys alone. He's facing them together with his community. So this whole idea of duty and community, it's not just some Hollywood invention. Nope, it comes straight from the ancient philosophy of Stoicism itself. And see, that's the key. It's not just some tough guy attitude. It's a real, practical system for how to think and how to live. It's like a toolkit for your mind. So let's open it up and see what's inside. Okay, tool number one is what the Stoics called physics, but a better name for it is the dichotomy of control. It's super simple, but powerful. The idea is, look, you only have so much energy in a day, right? So why waste it on things you absolutely cannot change? The Stoics said, focus only on what's in your power, and that's your thoughts, your judgments, your own actions. Everything else, what your boss does, the traffic, whether it rains, that's all outside your control. And just accepting that, that's the first step to getting some peace of mind. All right, next up in the toolkit, logic. Think of this as the filter you see the world through. The Stoics had this brilliant insight. It's not events themselves that upset us, it's our judgment about them. Getting stuck in traffic isn't inherently bad. It's the story we tell ourselves. This is a disaster. I'm going to be late. My day is ruined. That's what causes the stress. So this tool gives you the power to pause, look at that story, and choose a better, more rational one. And the last tool in the box is ethics. This is the so what part. Okay, so you know what you can control and you know how to manage your thoughts. Now what do you do with all that? For the Stoics, the answer was a no-brainer. You point all that energy toward the common good. You try to be a good person. You act with courage, with justice, with wisdom. You be a good friend, a good coworker, a good neighbor. This right here, this is the beating heart of that dutiful Stoic we were talking about. Okay, I know what you might be thinking. This sounds great for ancient Rome, but what does it have to do with me? Well, what's so wild is that people are using these exact same tools right now. Not in a toga, but in a cubicle, in the modern workplace. And I'm not just guessing here. A recent study actually looked at this. And check this out. The two most used principles at work were logic, managing your reactions, and ethics, focusing on being a good team player. We're talking about a huge majority of people. They're literally using these ancient ideas to deal with the stresses of their 9 to 5. So what does that look like in practice? Well, here are the top ways people are using it. For managing conflict with that annoying coworker, for making big, tough decisions, for just keeping their cool when things get crazy. It's not abstract philosophy. It's a super practical framework for dealing with real-world problems. Let's rewind for a second. Almost 2,000 years ago, Marcus Aurelius, the emperor of Rome, by the way, wrote this down for himself. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. It's basically Stoicism in a nutshell. But the real question is, does that idea written by a Roman emperor still mean anything today? Well, listen to this. This quote is from that modern workplace study we were just talking about. It's an IT consultant. He was super stressed, and he realized the key was to just focus on what he could control. He found peace not by quitting his job, but by changing how he thought about it. I mean, come on, it's the exact same idea as Marcus Aurelius, just 2,000 years later. This stuff is absolutely timeless. And that really gets to the most important point of all. Stoicism isn't something you either have or you don't. You're not born a Stoic. It's not about being some cold, unfeeling robot. It's a practice. It's a set of tools that anyone, and I mean anyone, can learn to use every single day. So let's try one of those practices right now. It's called negative visualization. I know, it sounds a little dark, but stick with me. Just for a second, imagine losing something you really, really value. Your job, your home, or relationship. Feel what that would be like. Now, why would you do that? Well, for one, it kind of prepares you for tough times. But more importantly, when you snap out of it, you're suddenly filled with this incredible gratitude for everything you do have, right at this very moment. And that really brings us all the way back to the beginning. See, true Stoicism was never about getting rid of your emotions. That's impossible. The Stoics knew we all feel fear and anger and sadness. The whole point is to not be a slave to those feelings. It's about taking that emotional energy and, using your reason, channeling it into something good for yourself and for others. It's about being less like the Clint Eastwood lone wolf and a whole lot more like the John Wayne community hero. So I want to leave you with this final thought. The Stoics believed that real freedom isn't about bending the world to your will. It's about mastering your own mind. It's about the freedom to choose how you respond to whatever life throws at you. So my question for you is, what's one thing in your life right now that you could practice